Shalom, Yashala. Quick video giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakah Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone. Much salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect, Most High will. To the hopeful extended elect, Shalom, blessings. We continue to exalt those names. Yahweh, He is to be. His Son, Yahweh Shai, He that delivers, He that saves. And we always say in the name of the Holy Spirit, which is Spirit Holy, Rakah Kadash, Kodash. Yeah, Cain was an emotional wreck, man. That's what I'm gonna call this. And he murdered his brother Abel. And a lot of these ninjas on earth, they're an emotional wreck, man. A lot of these different men of these different camps is an emotional wreck. Calling like that ninja polite, saying he'll call the Crips and Bloods, whatever. A lot of men taking stuff personal. They're emotional wreck, man. It says Genesis 4 and 5, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect, and Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Like a bitter ass demon, man. Like a lot of these women they emotional, man. And that's why they kill a lot of men, because they can't bear it, man. Countenance. Let me see. Panayam.
Strong's H6440. Panim.
It
Panim.
comes from Panya,
Cassinius
face.
Lexicon. Penuel.
He had, how
second entry. Peniel.
How a woman could fix her face and roll her eyes, stretch her neck, roll her neck and her eyes. Because remember it says none is more bitter than death than a woman. Snares her hearts is snares and nets. Her mind is snares and nets. Emotional wreck. So you got a lot of men that are like women, man. They're emotional wreck. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thou countenance fallen? And let me get the next verse. If thou doest well, thou shalt not be accepted. Shall thou not be accepted? If you do well, So you got people that got an emotional wreck. A lot of these dudes that murder out there, they emotional wreck, man. Like I said, these women with agendas and all that, calling their brother, their uncle, their father, just to take care of man, to take a man out just because of a word. We know words cause war. But there's a patience and a strategy to war. You just don't go off to war right away. You think, you plot, you make the best decisions, you use wisdom. These women don't do that. And emotional men don't do that. They just act out of, their emotions. So a lot of shit happens when that happens, when they don't think, or when they're not wise. Even with women, using that as an example, they be like, well, I hate you and F you and I don't want to never see you again. And then the next day they be like, I'm sorry, I love you. But that becomes a lifestyle. They do that like, all through their lives, man. You can't hate and love somebody at the same time. It says no one can serve two masters. He gonna hate one and love the other. That ain't no. It ain't no love and hate relationship. When we talk about that with Esau, Esau really hate us, but he's that love part we talk about is it's basically metaphoric to he can't help but like our style and attracted to who we are as a people, but he hate us. He hate us deep within his heart. That it ain't no love there. You know. So you either hate your people, or you love your people. You love your brother, you hate your brother. You love your family, or you hate your family. You know. It ain't no going back. That's what women like us to do. Like go back and forth, thinking that that's cute and everything, or thinking that that's how relationships work. Well, yeah, nah. Nobody wants to be uh, relationship where it's chaotic and out of order, man. That's out of order. You know, most of these women, a great majority is women out of order, man. You know, it says, it says if, and he said, if thou doest well, thou shalt not thou be accepted. You know, it just like 2/3 Jakes by the Most High. If you do well, you're gonna be accepted by the Most High. You know, if you don't, you can't be a rebellious generation, a rebellious house, and get what you want to as in carnality, and then try to you know hop the fence and try to love the Most High. You love the pleasures of this world equally to loving the Most High. No, that doesn't work, man. Like it says, you either love the one and hate the other, despise the one and you know hold dear to one against the other. Evil against good. That's what the scriptures say. Evil is set against good. You know, if there's a bitter woman in the house and she's always talking about I hate you and and I should go out there and cheat on you, and this is a common thing. This is an everyday thing, or she goes back and forth in that light. That's a toxic ass woman, man. She's out of order, man. She'll flip at any time. You can't trust a woman like that. Because when she's in emotion, she's gonna be like, yeah, I want him taken out, or she might, kind of think back to when you called her a B that one time, and you even apologize. You're like, yeah, man, I was tripping, man. She still hold that in her heart and bitterness forms in her heart, man, because she can't let anything go. You know, she's emotionally attached with everything, man. That's why she can love. When we not attached to women like that, to where we don't fall in love with women. If we have multiple women, which is not expedient, we're not going to be attached to. Because you imagine if you were attached to these women like that, you'll be doing everything chaotic for these women. Cause they cry about everything, man. He called me. He looked at me funny. He's at the job and he talks about and usually that's not even the case. Usually they it's something, a story that they make up in their head, or they think that's the case, and it's really not, man. You know, uh, if you don't pay attention to a woman like every day, all day, 24/7, she gonna think you hate her. You know, and you just being a man about your business. Like, yeah, you in the house, so what? I don't have to tell you. You know, but let it be them. It says, it says, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, man. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against his brother Abel to slay him. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is thy brother? And he said, Am I know not, am I my brother's keeper? So you know, it's like a little what do you call it? Emotional child, like that don't get to eat ice cream after dinner, or don't get to go out to the mall that day, or to play with his friends that day. You know, a lot of children are killing parents these days for these reasons, man. Oh, she took my cell phone away from me. I'm a killer. Like, Most High's got it ain't no they ain't good for the kingdom. You gotta get rid of people like that, man. Especially grown men and women, man. You know, and especially these women, you gotta cut them off if they're emotional like that. You know, and a lot of them are. They don't know how to control their emotions, man. You know, and suffering helps that. Suffering is a medicine. That's why the Most High says, "Hey, suffering, enjoy, be rejoice in your affliction, because it's a medicine." Because these women, they don't know how to suffer, because they think they're suffering, but they all their lives they didn't have men take care of them, cater to them, pay their bills. You know, you know. The only they they what you call something self-inflicted, if that's a word. They cause harm to themselves because they trying to figure out the man, and when they can't figure out the man, they hurt. Like, man, he broke my heart. I can't figure him out. He always chasing other women. He's chasing this female. What does he see in her? Well, maybe she's a more submissive woman. Maybe she's prettier. Who knows? But whatever the case is, these women will leave their whole families and their children off to die, so to speak. You know, to have not have the man in the house, where their whole house will fall apart because of these emotions attached to this man. And and we're not saying that they're not the weaker vessel, but we're saying being out of order and emotional like that, because a man's supposed to be in the house to teach the woman how to handle her emotions. Really, you're supposed to grow up, learning how to be a woman into your younger, your youthful woman stages. You're supposed to know how to be a woman, to be submissive, you know, to know how to act around other women and around people in the public. You see how these women act out in public, flashing their box, flashing their boobs, flashing, talking shit. You know, every video that they make is a ratchet video where they popping bottles, celebrating, and giving finger gestures to the world, to the man. Independence, talking about they don't need a man. You know, uh, yeah, because they thinking they hurt, but they do wicked shit because of the hurt. They don't learn from the hurt. They don't be like, man, I had to learn and grow from this. They gotta retaliate. They gotta go out there and cause havoc and cause mischief, just like the devil does. I'm gonna get that word of feminine because it's in the Revelation. Uh, I'll close out. It says, 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? So that lets you know they talking about everybody can make it. Come on, man. You gonna tell me everybody's righteous in this world? Shit, our righteousness is filthy rags. We don't even know if we're gonna make it. You devils, man. Most High is gonna get rid of devils, man. He's gonna get rid of you snakes, you fork tongue serpents, man. That's what Yahweh Shai said. It's a generation of serpents and vipers. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. And let me get, and that's another way of too of saying abusers of themselves with mankind, because they have to abuse or have to hurt back all the time. You know, they have to get one. Oh shit, you know, like somebody, you know, somebody, you step on somebody's feet, like, oh my bad, and then the dude like, oh no, fuck that, fuck that, you know, you stepped on my new. And when the man apologized, man, uh, let me see, because we do get angry. It says be angry and sin not, you know, but you don't go out there and make a shank and start
Strong's G
serial killing
3120.
everybody.
Malakas.
Malakas,
Malakas.
malakas, soft to the touch, man. Metaphoric in a bad sense. A boy kept for a homosexual relationship with a man of a male who submits his body to unnatural lewdness or male prostitute. Uh, soft to the, you know. So you got a lot of men, even that's submissive to these women, that allow them to, you know, take over the house, take over the space, you know, influence them to, you know, speaking lewd, you know, um, ill ways, you know. Like, there's plenty of dudes that didn't lost their lives because a woman said, "Yeah, this man looked at me funny," you know. And you know, females always they live in this Disney World type of lifestyle. Like they think everybody wants them, you know. Oh, he was, and then the man gets into an argument, and then you know, there's plenty of cases like that when the man wasn't even looking at these women. They over with, man. Nobody wants that box anymore like they used to. Maybe for a small good time, and that's it. They don't want no relationship with these women, man. Emotional ass, out of conduct, character, out of order women, man. You know, they just want to hit and move on. But every woman wants to fall in love with a man. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just want to something about you. I want to get married and all that. I ain't talking about no damn marriage, man. You know, I ain't talking about no relationship, man. You know, especially when a man got money. You know how they chase men with money and all that. Like, damn, he got a nice car, he got a nice house, he got a nice this. You know, want a kid, want a baby with him. Uncertain affinity, soft, fine, figuratively, venomous soft. So, yeah. And a lot of these dudes, I'm pretty sure, that believe that all nations can make it, they probably been influenced by their woman, man. You know, a lot of these men that are going to take the MOTB is going to be influenced by these women. Yeah, don't you know we got a family? You hate. You seem like you hate me. You hate the kids. You don't want to live this life with me. Like damn, Lot's wife and shit. Emotional ass. You know, looking back and wanting. You know, thinking about. You know, or wanting to be involved with that world still, connected to that world. Don't want to leave every. A lot of these older women, even sometimes men, they get emotionally attached to their carnal possessions, man, and they become a hoarder. So they can, I remember back then that this the clock you know, my uncle gave to me. This is the watch my mother, you know, and all of it just gets over time is yeah a house full of old memories of carnal things, man. Most High said, don't heap up your treasures that are moth eaten, that are carnal, man, temporary. But these women can't let it go because they got them all. So imagine the dudes they've been with. Yeah, I remember when I went with him, and then this other dude. I remember when I first met him, and then the other dude. Next thing you know, she got 50, 100 dudes on her belt that she didn't lay with. And then she called at the end of the day, she called herself a hopeless romantic. Like, yeah, all them dudes didn't work out. What, 50 dudes didn't work out? You would think like, damn, look in the mirror. Maybe you're the problem because you can't get your way. You like a kid that in a candy store that can't touch the candy, and you spaz out, you know, in front of everybody. That's how a lot of these women are. Some men are too. You know, they just never fucking satisfied, effing satisfied, man. You know, all eyes on them, all attention on them. You can't read a book, you can't watch TV, you can't read the scriptures, you can't, go out and hang with your spiritual brothers, or you get called gay or something like that. Most High, I hope Most High destroy you women with some great fire, man. With some great amount of fire, man. I hope it's a missile with your name on it, man. And then you got these same kind of women that embrace feminine men, embrace you know drag queens and all that. See, Most High got a special judgment for you, you demonic trolls, man. He got a special judgment for you. It might just be reserve you for the missiles, man. Just for the missiles. So your ass can be something like Sarah Connor, you know. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah. That's why the Most High is toughening us up, man, with suffering and all that. Cause all these industry Negro, you know where they went, you know where they going, living comfortable, waking up in satin sheets, you know, loving the lifestyle, drinking champagne, partying, around a lot of females, drunk, unhealthy, or just in a circle of a free spirit where these women are talking shit, or they as women so fine that they can't help themselves, they can't resist. Like, you supposed to be like, yeah, she's fine as hell. So what? I mean, what was her mind like? Is she submissive? What she's about? Like, all that cute shit, man, ain't the business, man. But anyway, hopefully it was edifying. To the next video. Shalom.